Using the Notes text function, you can display notes in a data source-enabled text box in a report. Let's begin by creating a note format. To access the Note Format Manager, select Notes on the home page, and then select Note Format Manager from the Actions list. A note format defines the output content, layout, and format of the Notes text function. You create and maintain note formats in the Note Format Manager, and can use note formats across multiple reports. Enter a unique name for the note format. I'll accept the default. Optionally, you can add a description. Once you create a note format, you cannot change its name. Select the size for indenting sections in the note format. The next step is to add sections to the note format. The default note content section can only appear last in the note format, and you can only add a section above it and not after it. Click the Actions menu for the section and select Add Above. In the Add Note Format section editor, you can manually enter text and select text functions to include in the section. You can apply formatting to the selected text, such as font type, size, color, and so forth. Validate to check the text function syntax. Click OK to confirm the validation is successful, and then click OK to close the editor. The Note Format section is added to the note format. Let's add another section above Note Author that will display the note name. I'll change the format and validate. Let's add another section after the Note Author section that will display the Note POV dimensions. Set the delimiter and ordinal for the text functions. I'll add bold and underline and validate. This section will return the entity data in the Notes section of the report. Let's add one more section to display Note POV dimensions. This will return the segment and fiscal calendar data in the report. Notice that you can use the Actions menu and navigation buttons to edit each section. Let's increase the indent for the POV dimension and note content sections. Save the note format. The note format is displayed in the Note Format Manager. The next step is to create a named POV, which defines the dimensions and members to retrieve in the Notes text function in a report, as well as the dimensions to display with a secondary POV in the text box. Begin by opening a report in edit mode. From the Actions menu, select Manage Named POVs. Notice that you can also open the Note Format Manager from this menu. In the Manage Named POVs dialog, create a named POV. Note, when you create a named POV, it is limited to that particular report only. You cannot share named POVs across reports. Provide a name and an optional description. I'll accept the default name. Select the data source. Notice that the POV bar is initially populated with all dimensions in the data source. All dimensions display no selection by default, which means that no members have been selected, and all notes for that dimension's members will be displayed. Click on a dimension label to open the member selector for that dimension. Here you can select specific members for the notes you want to display. In this example, I'll use a function to select Children of Electronics for segments and select June for fiscal calendar. Using this method, only static notes for the Children of Electronics for June will display in the Notes text box in the report, regardless of what you select in the report POV. Alternatively, you can configure one or more dimensions to display with a secondary POV in the text box. Click on POV Dimension Actions for a dimension and select Control by Text POV. To set the default member selection option that appears when a user previews the report, select POV member function and choose one of the available member selection options. This default option is displayed when first previewing the report. I'll select bottom members of member. The other member selection options will also be available to users. It is good practice to use the dimension layout to remove any unnecessary dimensions where you do not specify a selection. This makes it easier to specify the ordinal parameter in the Note POV dimension and Note POV member label functions that you set in the note format. You can always add dimensions back using the Add Dimension button. You can also reorder dimensions to more easily refer to them when using the ordinal parameter in the text functions. You can edit, delete, and refresh named POVs. Now let's insert a text box into the report. Position and resize the text box and add formatting if desired. Click Edit, select the data source, and select Text Functions. Select Notes from the Text Functions drop-down list. Select the named POV and note format you created earlier. You can select a note template or leave the note template field blank to use all note templates. Click Select to insert the Notes text function. Save and close the text box. Preview the report. Notice that the members in the secondary POV in the text box default to the members selected in the report POV. In this example, the secondary POV displays the notes from the performance summary template for the bottom members of total entities. If you change the global POV for the report, the members in the secondary POV change accordingly. The secondary POV now displays the notes for both the performance summary and variance summary templates for the bottom members for North America. You can also change the selection in the secondary POV in the text box to display the corresponding notes. The secondary POV now displays the notes for both the performance summary and variance summary templates for children of North America. Check the description for links to related video tutorials. To learn more, visit docs.oracle.com.